Welcome to Intentional Nonsense, the only pro Ted Cruz podcast.
Oh.
Oh God.
Is that too
Oh.
much? I was thinking
No,
some Ted
no,
Cruz.
that's
No.
fine.
No, you're fine.
That's
All
fine.
right, all right. We'll keep it. We'll keep it.
Yikes.
That's funny.
Alright, so Simon won't have his webcam on because he's doing it through his phone. That's the only way he won't lag the fuck out like last time. So, just as a heads
No,
up.
this is Ted Cruz actually. This isn't
Oh.
Simon.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, our bad.
hello,
Bad.
Mr.
Ted Cruz
Cruz.
podcast. Okay.
Alright, so who wants to start talking
Wait,
about
you didn't
shit?
introduce yourself, Brandon.
Oh,
I'm
I forgot
Ted
we
Cruz.
introduced
That
ourselves.
is right. We haven't introduced ourselves.
My B. Yeah, you're Ted Cruz. I'm Brandon.
I am Trevor.
I'm Liam.
I'm still Brandon. I stole that from the RT podcast.
I was waiting for someone to do that.
Alright, so we can start off with Liam, because he's at the far left of the screen for me, so
He's for me too. Whoa.
talk about your shit.
I've been playing. I've been watching. Specifically, like last week, I'm watching One Piece, but I got way more into it this week. I'm only like 100 episodes in, and it's like 1,500 episodes long. But I think I'm in enough that I can talk about it a tiny bit. So, do any of you know anything about One Piece?
No.
There's a
Yeah,
pirate.
they're like
There's a
they're
pirate.
sailors. Yeah, they're pirates.
Yeah,
I mean.
they're pirates. So the whole idea is that there's this kid named Luffy. He's the main character.
Yeah,
Is
he,
it Straw Hat?
he can like
Yeah, Straw
he's
Hat.
like yeah.
He is the Straw Hat, and his whole goal is to find what all the pirates call the One Piece, which is the idea is that there's this pirate from like 20 years ago who's like the greatest pirate to have ever existed, and he was able to get a hold of all the world's riches is the exact quote. But he was eventually caught and executed.
Jeez.
But he hid his loot in this section of the world right on the equator. It's literally the equator, called the Grand Line, which is supposedly like the hardest to navigate sea in the world, like unbelievably difficult.
So you saying he's got a grand booty?
Dude, my question. and I
I'm
thought about
clapping
this
for myself.
Dude, my question though, and I thought about this after. So you said it's what, like over 1,000 episodes long?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how do they? Because the only shows that like are ever that long are usually like sitcoms, which makes
Exactly.
sense.
They don't have like a general. They don't have
Yeah.
a definite story.
They don't have like story arcs and stuff.
It's crazy. It's unbelievable. But they're
Yeah.
able to do it.
What?
So,
Maybe he'd like find some One Piece at some point, but then after that it's just him trying to protect his
What
like
network
name
is it
stuff.
on?
Oh, I'm watching it on Crunchyroll. It's anime.
Yeah, but like, well, I get that it's an anime, but
They put it on Adult Swim. I know that.
okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like,
But
the fact that it's ran for so long.
so what's unique? This world is like completely like magical stuff like that. There's crazy shit. There's monsters. Nothing follows normal physics. And Luffy himself, he's a rubber man. So in the world, they have these things called devil fruits that are supposedly like created by the devil. And if you eat
Couldn't have
one,
guessed that one.
if you eat one, you get a power of some sort, but then the sea hates you. That's like what they say, and you lose. And then if you basically go into water, you drop down faster and you drown almost immediately.
Jesus.
And so Luffy,
They-
the guy who wants to be a pirate, eats one, and he loses his ability to swim and would die almost immediately if he went into water. But he gained the ability to stretch, and
I
he became
remember
a
seeing that in like the video game commercial. It
yeah.
was like
he,
Rubber Man, and he was like, it was like Spider-Man, but he like was made out of
He
rubber. And I was like,
stretched,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
But like Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic. Except like a little bit stronger, I think, in terms of his stretchiness. It's like
Yeah.
crazy what he can do. But that's his like whole thing. And they run into like a bunch of other people that have eaten the fruit, and they're all like names, stupid names. the fruit he ate was called the gum fruit. And then there was another guy, like one of the first villains you meet. He's actually a clown. He's a pirate clown that's the captain of a ship. Yeah, it's really, really goofy, but super dark at like some points. And he ate the chop fruit, so he can like remove pieces of his body, and they can like float around and shit. Like his hands come off, and he comes at you with knives.
So can he like shoot his arm off? Like
Yeah, he can
Transformers? Like
exactly. And then
Yeah.
it comes back, and he can control it separately.
yes.
Yeah, it's
What?
fucking crazy. It's crazy. And then you run it. You meet like the first guy that Luffy gets. Like when you meet Luffy, he doesn't even have a ship yet. Like he has nothing, but he's like really strong and he can fight. That's about it. And so the beginning of the series is him looking for people to join his crew. And so first he finds this guy named Zoro, who is a pirate hunter actually, and it was caught by the Navy, which is this whole issue that the Navy like is always hunting him.
Wouldn't
But,
the Navy be employing pirate hunters?
Well, they do their own hunting, but this is like he's like a private,
It's like a
kind of like a
personal
private
vendetta?
investigator,
Like a vigilante.
Okay.
Yeah, a vigilante,
Wait,
exactly.
so-
But he gets paid for it. Like he
Is it like-
hunts bounties.
Is the Earth like the same? Like
No.
all the oceans and stuff? No. Okay.
Not at all.
Does it
They
take
have-
place on the Earth?
They call it Earth, yes.
Okay.
But it's nothing like normal Earth.
Okay.
So
Well,
you meet this guy named Zoro, who is an infamous pirate hunter, like known throughout. There are like 4 seas: east, west, north, and south, and he's known throughout all 4 of them as being extremely powerful because he's a swordsman, but he uses a 3 sword style where he has 2 in his hands and 1 in his mouth.
What
Okay.
the fuck?
It's actually so cool when he fights. It's crazy. But like that's like the whole idea. Every single person is outrageous that you meet. Like they're just stupid.
That must be pretty
They're stupid.
entertaining, though.
It's so entertaining because like there's like you learn about Zoro's backstory, and the reason he has 3 swords is because he thinks the more swords you have, the more powerful you are. And then eventually he runs into this. You meet these fish people that like part human, part fish, and there's one that's like an octopus guy with that has 6 arms and legs,
Mhm.
and he has 6 swords, and he's like, I'm the most powerful swordsman in the world because I have 6 swords, and Zoro has to like deal with that. That's a whole thing.
That must be probably why it's ran for so long, because they literally have complete
Exactly.
creative freedom, and so they can
That's-
make it as entertaining as possible and no one questions
Exactly. They didn't build themselves into like one
it.
specific
Yeah,
thing.
they're not in a
Like-
box at all.
For instance, if we go back to Avatar, there's only 4 elements. How much can you do with that?
Yeah.
So it only ran for 3 seasons, and then when it ran with
Well, they also
when it ran
wrote
with
it to
Korra.
end, though. It's not like
Yeah,
they were
that's true.
writing for it to
There's actually,
continue.
but I don't think
further.
they could have continued no matter what. I don't think it could have gone for that long. Because like you only can see so many people chuck a rock.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They do try to mix it up with like the metal bending and stuff. But anyways, One Piece. So first you meet Zoro. Like he's cool. He's aloof. He always falls asleep. That's his character. And then you meet this girl named Nami. Her only personality trait is that she has big boobs. Oh,
Wow.
that's not true.
Nice.
She's smart. She's clever. She can't really fight, but she's an unbelievable
Wow, it tells
navigator.
you where your priorities are.
Yeah. I mean, it's Japan in the 90s. Do you think they're really treating women equally?
Wow.
But that's her thing. She's the least outrageous out of everyone you meet. She's just kind of a normal person, but she's really good at navigating. And then you meet Usopp. I hate useless. I guess he has a good aim. That's about it.
Wing side character.
Yeah, he's the comedic relief, but
Yeah.
he's not very funny. I don't. He gets better, like because he's always scared and he's never actually fighting. When Zoro and Luffy are always like gun ho, let's fight,
Mhm.
which is kind of annoying. And each time you're going to each time they're going to these islands, they're always on an island, never mainland, and they're just looking for people to join their team. And then they find another guy named Sanji who's a cook, but also is very horny all the time.
To him
That's
and
his
the
character.
other girl?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Well, no,
Okay.
Nami hates her. Nami hates him, but
Okay.
Sanji's always going after her.
Mm.
And then they get another girl in the crew later that kind of sucks as well, but he's always going after her. It's really annoying because the way they write their characters is that they have one thing and one thing only, and then they drill that into you. Like, oh, Luffy is always hungry and he's an idiot. That's him. That's who he is.
So there's
That's
no
a lot of
character arc?
animes, though. That's like
Sanji-
Dragon Ball Z, too.
Yeah, Sanji likes girls and doesn't care about dudes when it comes to their problems. Drills that into you. Usopp is a wimp who thinks he's awesome and like makes up these stories about how he's this grand pirate, but actually has done nothing. And Zoro falls asleep. But you don't watch the show for the characters because the characters suck. You watch it for the fights and the craziness that they can do with the fights. So in the like section I'm watching right now, they actually made it into the Grand Line, which was pretty crazy how they got into this Grand Line. It had to do with this mountain that had a river flowing up it. And then yeah, I know. It's a section of the world where all the water gets pulled towards, and the water goes from all four seas go to the top and then shoot out into the Grand Line. It's pretty crazy.
Oh,
And they
okay.
can't enter the Grand Line because it's surrounded on either side, but what they call the calm belt, where there's absolutely no wind. So and there's a ton of like monsters and stuff, so you just can't enter. And so now they're in the Grand Line, they're facing this crime syndicate with a name that I can't pronounce, where like the top 5 guys all have the devil fruit powers and shit like that. And so they've already beat a guy who can make any part of his body explode, like whenever he punches shit. And one of his like abilities, because that only would work in like close combat, is that he picks his nose and flicks a booger at you and it explodes. And then his like sidekick is a girl that ate what they call the kilo fruit that can change her body mass at any point. So like she can be like at point she's lighter than air and she like floats up, but then she gets right above you and then instantly becomes like 10,000 kilograms and crushes you. That's her. Well, the whole idea is that Zoro and Luffy are basically unbeatable. They have rider's armor, like kind of like Goku. Like they always become powerful enough to beat their enemy.
Well, Goku dies like multiple times.
Yeah, but then he comes back to life.
What? You just spoiled it for me. Come
that
on.
happened in Dragon Ball Z. That happened like way early.
Well, yeah, Goku.
You
That
just
I mean,
spoiled it, though.
that was
Come
pretty
on.
shocking. Like in it,
That's
like
true.
that Goku died.
Back when it actually happened live, people must have been crazy. Like, holy shit, Goku died, and now you're like, Goku can never die because he's Goku.
Exactly.
But Luffy has that same thing. He's always more powerful than the enemy, and he always beats the enemy with a smile. That's his whole thing. And so, it's more the stressful part is that the writers always figure out a way to make sure Luffy isn't there. Like, at the one point when they were fighting the fish people from earlier, he did this thing where he stuck his feet into the ground and then twisted his body around a shit ton of times and then spun around like beating up everyone around him. But then after that, he was stuck in the ground and the fish boss pulled out like the little chunk of land that he was in and threw him into the water. So like he was gonna die, and then they had to like try to save him. But the whole like for literally 10 episodes he was in that water. And it was just about how his crew members were gonna get him out. And when they got him out, it took him 2 episodes to beat the boss. That's
pretty stupid.
How long are they?
Yeah, it's very stupid. They're like 20 minutes.
Oh.
And the whole like all the conflict comes from Luffy not being there. But it's still somewhat entertaining, and I don't know why.
That's That's pretty interesting.
Fucking crazy.
But, like, that's interesting how, like, outside the box it seems.
They added recently, like an episode I just watched. They added another crew member to their team. It's a reindeer that ate the human fruit that gave him the intelligence of a human, and he was able to transform. And he has 3 forms: one that's like a traditional reindeer, one that looks like he's a little kid because he's actually only like 10 years old, and then one where he's this huge jack dude that's super strong. And then he's like a really good fighter. And then he's also a doctor that like had spent like most of his life training to be a doctor because he was hated by humans, which is weird. There's this whole thing about how humans hate him, but he still wants to help them. It's actually kind of deep. Sometimes they can be somewhat deep, but anyways. And then he developed this drug that made him give him like several of the forms that gave him different abilities. So he's a fucking crazy character, but he fits right in with Rubber Man. It's the shit they come up with in that show is unbelievable.
What about you, Trevor? What have you been up to?
Okay, so the other day, I was playing a game from my childhood, and it is called Sly Cooper. It was the 3rd one, I believe, which I kind of forget the name of, but you guys probably don't know what any of them are,
No.
right?
I've just heard the name.
Yes, Anne.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll explain the series to you guys. So, it's like Sly Cooper's a raccoon man. It's like cartoonish, so there's like anamorphic or whatever.
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah. So,
Furries.
yes, basically. So he's a raccoon dude, and he's like, because he's a raccoon and all, he's like stealthy and he's like a thief.
Oh, Sly.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And so it's like the whole thing is that he comes from a long line of like thieves, like his whole family was before him, and so then he's like, I'm gonna be one too. But then his parents were like murdered by like a gang
Holy
called
shit.
called the Claw Gang. Yeah, this is like a kid. This game is like rated E.
Oh my
I
god.
know. So they were murdered by the Claw Gang, which are like really, really dangerous people, which I'll get into in a bit. And so then he goes to an orphanage and he meets like his 2 friends, which are Bentley, and he's a turtle, and he's like the brains of the operation. He's a
Okay.
pretty cool guy. And then there's Murray, who's a hippopotamus, and he's the brawn, and he likes to eat a lot and all that, that basic stuff. So the first one is kind of like he's like there's this book that his family had that holds all like the secrets to his powers. It's not really powers, it's like his thief moves.
Oh, okay. Like
So it's like
like his
because
ability.
like yeah, but it's
Actually,
like
in a
not
video
even
game.
really abilities. It's just like, oh, you can climb on pipes.
Yeah, you
and-
could like.
and-
It's like
Yeah.
how
This
video
sounds-
games need to teach you how to crouch.
yeah, and it's
This
like you
sounds
can
just
hug
like-
a wall.
This sounds like such just like the stereotypical little kids game or like E-rated game.
It kind of is, yeah. So it's like it teaches you, oh, you can hug a wall, you can do a jump and like land on this like
Like
pole
a kid's
thing.
version of Assassin's Creed.
Basically, but it came out before Assassin's Creed, I believe.
Assassin's Creed ripped
Assassin's
it off.
Creed is the adult version of Sly Cooper.
Yes.
It's
It's
on
like
the box actually now.
the first one is just like you're trying to fight the Claw Gang people, I believe, to just get like pages of the book.
Okay.
And then
And then you meet Ezio Auditore.
and then he says you must murder Leonardo DiCaprio, Da Vinci, whoever.
DiCaprio. Dude, hanging out with my boy Leonardo DiCaprio in Venice, Italy.
Oh,
Yeah.
imagine the modern Assassin's Creed.
Venice, Italy in like 1500.
It's like at the end of the first game, there's this like boss, and he's like a giant like hawk thing, and you like kill him, like actually kill him.
Like murder. Like
Yes.
no, like oh, he's knocked
Does
out.
it show blood?
No, it's actual murder, but because it turns out he was a cyborg, this hawk thing.
Oh, so that doesn't count.
But he apparently got upset. He became obsessed with changing himself into a robot and to like have immortality. So he slowly
Dark.
replaced his body parts with robot parts. and then you murder him at the end of the game. And it's like,
Holy
that's cool.
shit.
That's
And then the
Sounds
second,
kind of like the Batman games too.
yeah. And so the second game is like, oh, there's a museum filled with all of his parts, and and then you want to steal it. So then it's like, no
Are
one
you
can
the
like.
good
Is
guy
that dick
here?
level?
You're
Is that
like-
dick level?
It's weird. He's like, he has morals, because his morals is like, I don't steal from people unless they are thieves, but he steals from the
Oh.
cops. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's like he's stealing again, and then he's stealing from a museum to stop bad people from taking the parts. But turns
Clearly,
out
he
someone
hates education. He
stole
doesn't
the
want these
parts.
museums.
Someone stole the parts already.
Wait,
And
why
so-
are they in a museum? He's
I
not
don't
like
know.
a historical person.
Yeah,
know.
really.
So then it's like the whole point of the second game is to gather all of the parts back, and because like all of these gang members took them and are like using them. Like one dude uses the tail feathers as like a printing press to like print fake money.
What?
Like
What?
another dude uses like the heart to like make spices for his like spice syndicate because spice is
What?
illegal.
Holy shit.
And then there's a bunch of stuff. I don't remember like specifically what there's like someone had the eyes and she used them to like hypnotize people.
That one kind
I
of
guess
makes
that
sense.
yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Ish.
Yeah.
There's like a whole bunch of that, and then you fight all of them, and then there's this like lady fox, and she works for like the police, and she's after you through like out all of the games. And in the second one,
Rule 30
she-
for that.
so the second one, she has a friend, and she's like, "I'm gonna help you," but then at the end, she's like, "Oh no, never mind, I'm bad."
Oh.
And then, someone like rebuilt their hawk robot, but then she transfers her mind into it somehow. So then
She's very convoluted
so then
for
you
a
fight
kid's
him.
game.
Yeah, so then you fight him again, but as like the cop lady who wasn't really a cop, and then it like she dies because yeah, and
Okay.
but then the turtle got into a serious accident and is stuck in his chair for the rest of his life. It gets worse. The hippo blames himself for the accident.
Oh my
So then
god.
he
Now
like
he has, like,
goes,
PTSD.
so literally, so then he goes off on his own and like leaves the like the three of them and like has to like rethink his entire life.
Very existential.
Yeah, it's like an existential crisis.
Literally. And then like so the third one, it's like I kind of forget. It's like there's this crazy scientist guy. It turns out the like family of like because his name is Sly Cooper and there's like the Cooper family. Yeah. So they have this whole island.
Cruz calling.
They are, yes.
Who's it from?
So
Pick it up.
CBS. But so the Coopers have their own island, and it's like this huge facility, but there's like a secret safe, and so this mad scientist makes this lab on the island to try and break into the safe. And
What console was this for?
this was for PlayStation, like I
Yeah,
think
that's what I thought.
PlayStation 2,
Sounds like a
One
PlayStation
and
game.
two.
Okay.
and then they remastered
Ratchet
it
and Clank
for
stuff like
PS3.
that,
Oh,
Spyro.
okay.
It's like, is it kind of like in that style, like the Ratchet and Clank and like Spyro?
Yeah.
Because that's what it was sounding like to me.
So then but then it's like so Sly Cooper has this like iconic cane thing that he uses for like everything.
I have seen the cane.
Yeah.
Seen the cane.
And so that cane is like the key to the vault, but he like the guy's trying to steal his stuff, and so like you're like gathering people or something to try and take him down in the
The
third
game
one.
about the thief is about stopping the thief.
Yeah. So like
Huh.
the whole third one is you're trying to like gather people to help you. And so like you get like one of the bosses from like the first game who's named the Panda King, and he has fireworks and stuff. He's kind of cool actually.
I mean,
But like the
that
thing
makes
is,
sense, I guess.
it's like one of those classic games where it's like, oh, in order to like get them, you have to do this for them. So we had to like free.
Oh, like fetch quests and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's like you had to like free his daughter who was like being forced to marry like a dictator.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
So you had to like
Whoa.
take down the
I was
dictator.
afraid about what you were gonna say there.
And we had to like first get. We also had to get the hippo back, but in order to get him back, we had to like talk to his like guru, and then to get the guru to help us, we had to like free the because the guru is like he's
Took
a
a lot of
koala.
work.
He's a koala in like the outback, and they're like, oh,
Of
these
course,
people are trying to steal the oil or something. I don't know.
America.
There's like a mask or something. I don't really remember. There's something about a mask, and so like we had to free him, and then we
Jim
had him
Carrey?
too. And then there's like this girl that the turtle was like online dating and like catfishing. Kind of.
Oh my god, what is this game?
But we had to get her. But she was playing. She was like working for this bad evil guy who like held like flight competitions, like dog fights. So we had to like enter the competition to like win and
It's like
beat
the
the
pod
boss.
racing level, but
Yeah, but planes.
like a
And it turns out that she was that guy, and he was the Red Baron. His name is the Red Baron because like
that's a good name. That's
Yeah.
a good name.
so like
Okay, I
it
like
turns
that.
out
That's a
it
clever
turns
name.
out he was her, and she like makes these drones and stuff. So, like you use them a lot through like out the game, and then like I'm in this like part where like there's pirates, and I don't really know why we're with pirates.
How many games are there?
There's 4.
Have you
I've
played
played-
all of them?
I've played 1, 2, and 4. I finished 1, 2, and 4. I have not finished 3.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what's the fourth one about?
So the 4th one, this one is where it gets interesting.
Oh, this is where it gets
Okay.
interesting.
So
Is
this
it like
one-
a reboot?
No, it's not. It's like a 4th one.
Oh,
I think they did remaster it for PS4 though.
Yeah, that's okay. I was
Yeah.
mixing it up.
So the 4th one is someone's going back in time and getting rid of like Sly's family and like making sure that like he doesn't know like the book is like disappearing. The stuff on the book is disappearing. So he's like, we have to go back in time and like stop all this.
Oh, so it's
Whoa.
like sci-fi.
Yeah, it's
So
like
Assassin's
so-
Creed.
basically it's like there's like a
You have to lay down this thing called
like
an
a ninja
animus?
thing. And you work like the thing is you work with like his ancestors too, and his ancestors are actually pretty sick.
What?
Oh,
so,
literally
so it's Assassin's Creed.
Literally, like there's this one where you go to like Japan, and your ancestor's
Yeah,
like literally a ninja, and he is so cool.
Why haven't they made a Japanese Assassin's Creed? I'm just saying.
They should.
Why
That would
haven't
be
they've
cool.
only made one that takes place in America, or technically 2 if you.
Well,
count
yeah,
Black
because there's
Flag.
not that. We're kind of a new country still.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And we haven't had many wars in our country.
I mean,
Except
they
for
could
like
do,
Civil
like-
War.
Yeah, I mean, like one about American history. Like they could do like a World War II one.
Yeah, but
I
that would
guess
still be in
that's
Europe.
Yeah, that would be in Europe. Like,
Also-
I don't know.
That'd be-
Dude, it'd be interesting. Ooh, dude, it'd be cool. Like Cold War one, but you're
Yeah, I was thinking like a Korean War one.
like assassin.
Why the
That would-
Korean War?
I don't know. That'd be cool.
Cold,
That was a
what
cool
happened during
one.
Cold War.
Yeah.
I was thinking Vietnam, but okay. But a Japanese one would be so cool.
A Japanese one would be or Chinese would be really cool
I mean,
They
too.
made
Yeah.
they made like a side-scrolling Chinese one, which was pretty
Oh
fun.
yeah,
I didn't play that one.
That was
I
an
did.
app, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
It
think
was an
so.
app, but you could
Yeah.
also play it on Xbox.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, on Xbox.
I remember. I forgot about that.
Dude,
I've never
my
actually
favorite
played
favorite Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed 3 though.
I like 3. 3 is the
Two.
one I think I
2 all the
completed.
way.
I haven't played any of the older ones.
I played
mean,
2,
I
3,
didn't-
and 4.
Odyssey.
I didn't play 1 or 2. I haven't played most of them actually.
Actually,
I've
I,
only played Odyssey.
I've played like 1, 3, 4, and Origins, I think.
oh,
Yeah,
I played
there-
Origins. Yeah.
But I have all of them.
There's like a big sale in the like Xbox store, so I got like a bunch of. It was like some big package. I got Odyssey, Assassin's Creed 3 remastered, and then like some other Assassin's Creed that came with 3, like Liberty or whatever.
Was it Liberty or
But
Rogue?
it's like good. Rogue, yeah.
Rogue, yeah,
Rogue
I
is
like.
so
No,
like
no,
it
no,
would
it
be
was
cool.
Liberty.
Okay.
What's Liberty? What's Liberty?
I've heard of
It
it.
Oh,
takes
I've
place
heard
during
of
the
it.
French and Indian War.
I think it's like you play as like this girl or something.
Yeah, you play as a former slave.
Is it like an actual?
Oh,
Is it like an?
I have.
an
I
actual
played all
game?
that.
Or is it like a side scroll?
It's
Oh no, it's an actual game. It's just I don't think it's as
it's not as big.
like,
It's like an
in-depth.
expansion
Yeah.
pack sort of. I have
Exactly.
played
I
that,
think-
but
I
it has
think
its
it-
own
Oh,
story.
it's called an expansion pack for Assassin's
For
Creed
3. I think it was
because it's at the same time period.
Exactly. No, well,
It's
French
similar.
Canadian War.
really good.
Yeah.
It's be earlier, but
It was
still
really
around
fun
the same.
for like how short of a
Compared
game
to like
it was.
ancient Egypt, it's in the same time.
Yeah. So yeah, I played. I'm doing Assassin's Creed 3 right now. Then I'm probably gonna start doing Odyssey soon.
You should
Odyssey's
So here,
so fun.
yeah, I hear
Love
Odyssey's great.
you should play
I
2.
played like
2's
two-
really
I
good.
played one mission of Odyssey, and then I remember there was that like the one in France. It was like Unity, I think.
Yeah,
Unity sucked.
That one
Not
I
great.
did.
Unity.
I
That was
don't.
the one you could play co-op.
Like 4-player,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get why so many people didn't like it. I didn't
the
play
game
much of
was
it, but I
fine.
liked it.
The game was fine. It was just that for a lot of people, it was super buggy.
Oh yeah.
Like there was a ton of
It was
issues
not
right at
polished,
launch,
yeah.
but I think they fixed it over time.
Yeah.
But like it was too late by the time they actually fixed it.
Yeah.
So like
Also,
you don't
never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say.
nice, good one. I should play more Assassin's Creed games because I've literally
Yeah.
only played
Play
Odyssey and I still
2.
haven't finished it.
2 is
Yeah,
the
I
best
like-
one.
I like just
I-
got like 2 of them on my Switch, even though like I have them, but I was like, oh, they're like really cheap. I think it was Black Flag and Rogue, and I haven't played
Black
much.
Flag is fun.
Black Flag's
I
really
played
good
a while-
too.
Because
I
you
used
could be a pirate.
What I used to do was like me and my friend when we were younger, we would just like go around in like the cities and just like do
Kill
whatever.
everything in
Yeah,
sight.
literally.
I used to
But
do
I
that
never
all the
played
time.
this. I never played the actual story.
I did that, and then I did the same. I did the same thing in Skyrim. Because I never owned Skyrim. Because when I was a little kid, I wasn't allowed to
I
have
tried to
games.
play it. I couldn't get into it.
I love Skyrim. It's my favorite game of all time. But when I was a little kid and I went to my cousin's house who had it, I'd be like, "Can I play Skyrim?" But obviously, I'm only there for like a couple hours, so I couldn't actually play the game.
Yeah.
So we would just find the closest village, quick save, and then murder everything in sight. It was terrifying for a child, but I loved it. It was so fun.
Dude, like one time when I was playing the Skyrim VR for the first time, I accidentally killed a chicken and the entire village was just after me for a solid 10 minutes, and I was like, I just killed a chicken.
So I was I've recently replayed Skyrim, and there's just one town. So I joined this guild called the Dark Brotherhood. We're a group of assassins, and I suck at like quietly killing people. So I kind of just walk up to them, bash them on the head, and then kill everyone else to make sure there's no witnesses. Because if you kill everyone that saw the kill, you're fine. You don't have an
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah,
But
that's
there
what I
was-
do in Assassin's Creed all the time.
There was this one town where I fucked up, and everyone saw it, and I couldn't kill all of them. And I have now, but I tried to, and now I have like a 10,000 coin bounty on my head in that town. And they don't even stop to ask me to pay it and anymore. They just immediately when they see me, they try to kill me. It's awful.
Dude, oh yeah, did I tell you that I researched all the Digimon video games that came out after we talked about it? Dude, it is way more popular in Asia. Like, there's a lot more stuff that came out in Asia.
It's so weird because Pokemon is huge too.
Yeah,
Why do you
but,
need
like,
Digimon?
I don't know, but like there was a lot more video games that came out just in Asia. Like there's a lot of stuff you can find about it.
How do you?
There's,
I've
like-
never.
There's like Xbox One, like they're still making Digimon games. Like there's Xbox One version games.
I should get them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That'd be so boring.
I mean,
I'm
I wouldn't.
hyped.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend $40 on it. Like,
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I would want to get one that like for like the Game Boy that I can get for like $5.
yeah, exactly. I tried seeing that, and like there just wasn't a lot of options because I was like searching Amazon and eBay, like seeing if there's anything. There's like
Really
ROM. you
deep
can
dive
get, like,
research.
yeah, you can get ROMs for like your computer though that like are the DS game pretty much.
Yeah, I have a emulator, a DS emulator on my computer, and I play
Yeah.
like, Pokemon games on it all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, the DS though, that like I played mine a couple days ago. It surprisingly like holds up still.
It does. Yeah, What was I playing the other day? I was also playing. I was playing this Fire Emblem game. I forget the name of it, but I was playing that the other day for like 3 hours, and I was having a great time.
Yeah.
Do you know what Fire Emblem is?
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
It's the Ike one, right?
Anime chess.
The Ike one.
Like a few months.
Ike and
ago-
Marth are in that one, right?
Well, they're in completely separate games. It's really
they're-
weird.
They're in those series of games.
I think Ike is Marth's grandson
Yes. No.
Really?
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Marth was a girl.
Marth is a dude.
No.
What? Martha's dude.
Marth is a dude.
Dude, Marth's got like that haircut though, that like bob.
He's a dude. He's a dude. There's only
It's
but
just
there
a,
are
It's
characters.
kind of like a bowl cut, which is like a
There are
dude's
characters in
hairstyle.
Fire Emblem that are both a girl and a man.
No,
How-
very progressive.
Like Robin. You know Robin in Smash?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The alternate skins could be male or female.
Oh.
Because it's like depending on the decisions you make, in the end they become one or the other. It's weird.
What?
Yeah, it's a weird,
You, like,
it's a weird
based on
series.
the decisions you make decides the gender of the character.
Yeah, they're like a villain. They're like a villain. Basically, I think it's like that. I haven't played their games, but I've heard it's like.
So Simon, what
Yeah.
about you? What have you been watching or playing or listening to?
playing a lot of 2K.
I have been
Lot.
too.
Yeah. Well, I don't play like my career. You play my career more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play my league.
Hey, can we quick, as we're on the topic of sports, have Simon's sports minute right now?
Oh, okay. All right. Want to start the timer?
Yep, I got it. Don't worry.
All right.
Okay.
Simon's sports minute.
Yep.
I don't know why I awkwardly looked at the camera while I did that.
So yeah, not a lot of stuff happening in sports right now. Yeah. Oh, wait. There's people doing a horse tournament from their houses. NBA players.
Wow.
Yeah. I went on ESPN a couple of days ago. Some NBA players are playing 2K. And they're showing that on live television. They're
It's
showing
like
people.
Twitch.
They
Yeah,
are. It's
they're
very
literally showing
boring.
people playing video games.
I watched it. It's very boring.
Nah, you gotta
Yeah.
watch like the ESPN 8.
The Ocho.
Oh yeah,
show.
dude.
It's actually
a couple
real.
weeks ago.
Hmm?
A couple of weeks ago, they were like showing all like the highlights of the Ocho on ESPN. So they're just like running out of stuff to do, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of like, my dad was watching some stuff, and they were just watching like, a random Patriots game from 2006.
Oh yeah, well I like that. I like that they're showing like a bunch of like the
Yeah, they show
classic,
classic
like,
games. My dad
Yeah.
was
But like this
watching
one was just a regular season, nothing exciting about
Oh,
it. They weren't
yeah,
making
no, that's not
commentary.
cool.
It was just a
I
game.
like they've been showing a lot of like Jordan era like Bulls stuff, which is cool.
That'd be kind of interesting if you're into
Yeah.
it.
Like,
They're
it's kinda
making
like
a
that, yeah.
documentary about him.
Oh
like,
yeah, they're
doing
releasing
stuff.
that documentary is gonna be good.
That looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're done with the minute, but
Oh
we
yeah.
actually have something to talk about, kind of.
I didn't even realize the like a minute was actually happening.
I thought we
There's
were just gonna
literally-
stare in silence.
Oh.
But there's a lot of like the crazy shit you can find that ESPN sometimes plays is unbelievable. Like if you turn onto it at like 3 in the morning, you can
Oh, yeah.
sometimes find a Smash Bros tournament.
Dude,
Yeah, because they do a couple like game
Esports.
like esports stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if it was on ESPN or another one of those channels, but I watched professional, what's it called, cornhole.
Oh yeah, that's on ESPN.
Yeah, it's just
I've seen
two.
that.
It's
It's
like
awesome.
it's teams of like two college bros against two other college bros playing
It sounds
cornhole.
awesome.
Oh, like the Can Jam tournaments that they have, like the professional Can Jam stuff.
My dad listens to a lot of stuff on the radio, like the sports stuff on the radio, and it was like a couple weeks ago before all this happened. It was crazy. I was just in my car, like with my dad, and we were going to do something, and it was like, here's the 1 minute recap on the week, and it was like, oh yeah, the Patriots did this, the Celtics were doing stuff. Oh yeah, in the Boston team for Overwatch won this
They were part of
singular
that?
game.
They were
Yeah,
part of
it
that?
was
That's really
it was
cool.
crazy. It was really cool. I was like, Dad, I know that game. And he's like, shut up. But
It's interesting that they're still like this is kind of off topic, but like the NFL is still doing everything like because it's the off season right now for the NFL.
Yeah, but they're still like doing the draft.
The
stuff.
draft's gonna be on a Zoom call with every team.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not
Like
gonna
that
work out
seems
well.
like it's gonna go so wrong.
Yeah.
that's so funny, though.
Yikes.
That's so fun. I guess the draft is the one thing you don't actually need to be there for, though.
Yeah, but I feel
Really
like
interesting.
it's gonna be weird with a Zoom call because they're gonna have to keep like logging off because they don't want every team like hearing their thoughts before they draft someone.
I would do like a live stream with like 2 people there, like giving commentary and stuff
Yeah,
and stuff like that, and then we cut to like people in another building, like that stuff. Not like just like a guy sitting there, kind of like looking
Yeah.
at the camera,
I feel
and like actual production behind it, not just a fucking Zoom call.
Well, I mean, they're probably gonna do like a little
Yeah.
more than just the Zoom call, but still, it's like it's gonna be weird.
It's gonna, yeah. I mean, it's a weird time, you know.
Yeah.
It's not
Like-
much for them to do.
The UFC, or they're trying to like have their own
Get an
island.
island. Yeah.
They're gonna have
Fight
a fight
island.
island.
But that sounds like
That sounds kind of
the
cool.
beginning of a Far Cry video game.
Yeah, it also sounds like a recipe for disaster, though.
Yeah.
They're like just
guess,
recently
like-
postponed like everything, but
See,
they're like, no,
only
the fight
country-
island is happening.
Well,
I get the sentiment behind it, like, because you don't. If everyone has tested like clean and stuff, then like you can, in theory, have
that's
a
also
fight,
gonna
but
waste
still.
tests, though, like testing kits.
Yeah.
For just fucking like shitty
2
entertainment.
guys to beat the shit out of each other.
Well, that's the thing. Like when all this started, I had no idea why they were testing every NBA team. Like they're in like probably the best shape. Like
Which is
they
stupid
should
because
they
they
shouldn't
needed
be
the
wasting
least.
all those tests on NBA players.
Usually they're young and fit. They're not. They're fine. They need it
Exactly.
for people that actually need it, who have like legitimate issues.
Yeah, like a lot of people that like had it that were players, like they didn't show symptoms because they're like in good shape.
Have you
Or like they had like a flu-like symptom, but was better
Exactly.
in like 2 weeks.
Have you seen the meme? Speaking of testing kits, just reminded me. You know the meme format where it's the old picture in the office where it's like Michael with like a mullet shaking like the CEO's
Oh, yeah, the shaking of the
hand.
guy's
He's
hand,
like, it
yeah.
looks
Oh,
really
yeah.
awkward. It's like Bulgaria only having like 30 confirmed, or the WHO congratulating Bulgaria for only having like 30 confirmed cases, or maybe it was Belgium or something. And it was like Belgium only having 30 test kits.
I did see that one.
You know where they not surprisingly, you should like know the place where they have the least amount of cases though worldwide.
Africa,
Yeah.
because they don't have
Ooh.
kits.
No, because no, there's actually like not a lot of cases there because it's so like spread out. You're outside a lot of the time, so you're
That's
not
true.
really like condensed into like small places like you
'Cause-
are. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, it's
Because like New York is the most cases in the
Oh,
entire
and it's
world.
such a dense area. Yeah,
New York's not doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
go on.
I have a friend
saw a
there.
video.
You guys know him, right? Luigi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I feel bad because he already hates it there as it is, and then like this must just be like,
Making it so much worse.
Yeah,
Yeah, now you
like
can't
the-
leave.
straw that breaks the camel's back.
Does he live in the city?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. Because he probably that's really tough. Because I'm doubting. I bet you his house is pretty cramped too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they
Because
live
it's
in
a
an
city
apartment,
house. Yeah.
so
that
that's
must
even
suck.
worse because it's
Yeah.
a whole complex. Anyway.
Brandon.
So yeah.
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 So people are dying, but we're still here.
We're still kicking.
We're still yeah.
Uh,
We're kicking it.
we're kicking it. I've been kicking it with the Smiths, which is like is an 80s band, alternative rock 80s band. that it's it's kind of hard to say. You could definitely say that they're like popular and that they weren't popular, because
I've
like
heard of them before.
yeah,
Yeah,
like it's not like they're
you
played
know,
on radio stations all the time, but when you go on their Spotify thing, like their number one song has like 100 million plays, but then a lot of people aren't familiar with them or have never heard them.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
weird. They're like kind of popular, but not at the same time. They're kind of in their
They're in
own
that
niche.
weird in between.
Yeah.
Man, I've been on just a huge kick with them. I've just been listening to their albums like for the past week, just every day.
What's your favorite album?
Probably their self-titled. Um, yeah, I think they're self-titled, but they came out with they've had 4 albums in the 80s, but it's pretty impressive because they started um, those studio albums came out in like uh, consecutive years, most of them. I think there's a couple years in between some, but and the reason why they named themselves the Smiths, I heard this from the guitarist in my band really likes them. He's really influenced by them, and he said that the reason why they're called the Smiths is because they wanted such a generic name that you couldn't pinpoint a genre or a sound. Which I just
Smith
thought,
is like the most used last
yeah,
name in
exactly.
America.
So they're like, yeah, we don't want a specific sound. We want like freedom, creative freedom. And it's just so cool. It's very 80s. But their guitarist Johnny Marr and their singer Morrissey are like they were almost always the main writers for everything. It was like them two, and then the bassist and the drummer kind of like filled in their parts afterwards. Um, it's they're so good. They have such a it's strange. They have a wide variety of sound, but it's all kind of confined in like a few genres. Cuz like they have their own sound, but it's like influences from a lot of different genres like funk or kind of more like electronic pop from the time period and stuff, and this stuff comes together to they make their own spin on it, and so each album is kind of different but kind of the same, which I think is kind of cool.
Do they
um,
usually like follow a specific genre for a single album, or is it like all of it?
yes and no. they have like they have like the same kind of feel to them, but the way they achieve that like feel throughout the album can be done in different ways, like with different sounds. Um, I just think they're like really, uh, I don't know, they're just very cool in that way. So yeah, I've been listening to them a shit ton, and their guitarist, um, my friend kind of described them as like, kind of described him as like a composer as well as like a guitarist, because
Like
just the way he
Mozart?
writes is very there's just something special to it where he's not just like, all right, here's a sweet riff, let's put some chords under it.
Mhm.
It's like, here's a nice melody, let's change it up sometimes, or we'll keep it the same, and let's just run with it, and we don't have to do the traditional like, hey, this bass line is going to follow all the time, or like, okay, now we need these chords that fit exactly with it. And then Morrissey's lyric, Johnny Marr writes fairly upbeat stuff most of the time, but Morrissey's lyrics, they get real dark sometimes. They are like one of their songs, Big Mouth Strikes Again. One of the lyrics is like, "Sweetness, I was only joking when I said you should be bludgeoned in your bed." And it was like
Oh.
all of your teeth should be like smashed inside your head, but it's to this like kind of like upbeat major key song. There's another one that I love, I have stuck in my head right now, Barbarism Becomes at Home, which is about child abuse, but it's like a funk song.
Jesus. Oh, that's kind of like what's the name of that song about the little kid from upstairs who has a bruise on his eye, but he's like, "Oh, I just fell down," and it's this really happy country song, but it's actually because his dad was beating him.
Jeez.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of along those lines. A lot of Morrissey's lyrics are like about depressed people or about bad stuff, and they a lot of the times they always end albums with it. Like meat, their album "Meat is Murder" because they're all vegetarians or vegans or whatever. Um, the title track is the very last song, and it's just saying that like how immoral it is, and some of they use samples of like animals like making sounds of pain and shit, but then like the album you just listen to is like super like funky, like upbeat guitar, like cool
Jesus.
drums, like funky happy bass lines. There's also one that's like I forget which album it is. That's called it's like Suffer Little Children or something like that. It's about like I'm pretty sure it's about like
What the
kids
fuck?
dying. Yeah, but
What is
you don't think it's
my
dark.
my thoughts?
It's not as dark as it sounds because of the music behind it and the way he sings it.
yeah.
That was completely not at all was what I thought the Smiths were.
The Smiths are really cool. Not all their songs are like that, but there's like a better majority that you
amount.
could find.
Yeah.
And Morrissey's voice is really cool. It's very unique. He uses like vibrato all the time, and he has this very like I don't know how to describe it. It's not like classical, but it's kind of just that like rich vibrato, like I'm here and you should fucking listen to me, kind of like.
I'm here.
And then, yeah, and sometimes he like doesn't even do vocal melodies for a couple words because he's just like, you're already listening to me. Like, there's one that's oh, I forget the name of it again. Damn, but he's like, I am the sun and air is the lyrics, and he's like, I'm the sun and air, and then he's just like, of nothing in particular, and just spoken word says that, and then goes on with the song, and it's just cool. Like they clearly had kept that mentality of creative freedom throughout their songs and their albums before they disbanded. It's really cool. So I've been listening to them a shit ton, and I recommend it to people who like 80s stuff or like some alt rock stuff.
You have a weird taste in music.
Yeah, I don't know. With these past few years, my tastes in music has expanded greatly. It went from like I listen to classic rock. Now I listen to grunge, and it's like that's it. I hate everything else. But then it's like, oh, I literally will listen to like ambience music and jazz to like black metal.
It's so niche too.
And
The
bossa
very
nova.
the small things you focus on, like into, like a very small genre, or especially tiny ass bands,
Hmm.
like the weird like Eastern European metal bands you listen to,
Well,
or like Northern European.
that's just a lot of black metal bands because black metal started in Norway.
Of course
So-
it did.
Yeah, with
With the
Varg.
Vikings.
Those Norwegians.
Vikings, come on.
Or like, I don't know. I don't even know how I get started on some of these bands. Like Destat is a really weird synthy alt rock, fun, just a very fun band. But like they are, it came from the Netherlands, I think, and they're not even big enough to like do a tour anywhere else than Europe. And like I don't know how I discover this shit, but I do.
What's that band you showed me where it's just a guy, a saxophone, and
Moonhooch.
like yeah, Moonhooch.
Moonhooch is two dudes and a drummer mainly, and it's two dudes who have one of them plays a contra bass clarinet, and the other one plays a saxophone that should go like that goes like an octave lower than it should. Both like 100 years old, and they make either like dubstep or just kind of like funky
Crazy.
funky
It's fucking
songs
crazy.
in general. Yeah. I just like music. I'm kind of getting back into bossa nova. So I had to learn bossa nova for an audition, and I just like fell in love with it. Like jazz, I had to learn for an audition, and I was like, all right, this is all right. Like I'll listen to it sometimes. But bossa nova, I fell in love with it, and it's literally elevator music. But it is elevator music. Some of them I would even recognize, because my favorite bossa nova artist is Antonio Carlos Jobim, and there's one song by him called Agua de Beber, because they're all from, I think it's Brazilian. No, it's not Brazilian music.
It's Spanish.
What?
There's
Spanish, yeah.
A lot of them are from one particular country where it started in South America. I forget which one it is. But yeah, I was like, oh, I've heard this before. I was like, I've heard this used
yeah.
as like the common
I
elevator
was in
music
the
in
elevator
shows.
going to my doctor's appointment. That's it.
I just
yeah.
love it. It's so
It's got that
relaxed, but it's
doctor's-
kind of
Doctor's
jazzy.
appointment elevator ride vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
just get
music
into
always
weird,
stresses me
weird
out.
stuff.
Like that, I don't know. Elevator music kind of stresses me out.
I agree to a certain point, just not because the music is actually stressful, just because of what it entails.
Yeah, the context exactly.
Because like I hated going to the doctor's as a kid, but they would always play jazz in the elevator. So that jazz terrifies me to this day.
Or
It's
just like from
calming jazz.
movies, like just I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's always it makes you feel
Whenever
so like
you-
uneasy.
Whenever you hear the elevator music, you know like something's about to explode.
Exactly,
like
or like
that.
something's about to go down.
I can send you guys Agua de Beber.
Yes, send us your elevator music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love, man. I just love really specific types of music. I don't know why. Yeah, but that's been me.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
the complete
Macklemore.
opposite. Macklemore's his own like
He's his own genre.
His
yeah.
own breed.
he's his own species.
Species of God. And you must treat him as such.
Anyways,
Speaking of white rappers, you guys see the Lil Dicky TV show?
I've seen
Dave,
a few episodes.
What a segue.
What a transition, honestly.
they also make the Macklemore joke in that too.
Yeah, I know.
Except they actually have Macklemore come on
Yeah.
to be a part of the joke, which is funny as shit. That episode is so funny.
That's
I
one of
know.
my, no, the latest episode is probably my favorite episode.
The latest episode is good. The
haven't seen
one
it.
where that literally came out like last night.
Yeah, he's barely in it, but I like it.
He's in
Yeah.
it?
He's in it because
Right,
he's like
yeah.
he's bringing Trippie Redd's nephew to like buy
To
shit.
like a farmer's market, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I love how there's like so many guests on it.
Because
Yeah.
Lil Dicky's actually massive.
Oh yeah.
He is?
And well, like even like the
Yeah.
cast is like
Oh, I didn't know
like
that.
the cast the Gata is
Taco.
like his actual hype man. Taco exactly is like from Odd Future.
Wait, Gata is actually his hype man?
Yeah, in real life.
I didn't know that. He's
Yeah,
a
it's
good
pretty
actor.
cool. This is the first thing he's acted in also.
He's actually like good.
Pretty
Like
good, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And
Wow.
I think like Dave, it's loosely based on him also. I can't like confirm that, but I think
Like,
it is
Like the
the
big
bipolar part.
Thing. Yeah, the bipolar part. That's a
think-
great episode.
Actually, that might be my favorite episode.
It's either that or the second episode where his girlfriend is a teacher at a elementary school, and a kid dies at the elementary school. The parents ask him for his first performance ever to play at the memorial ceremony.
Like,
Dude,
make it
the
funny.
song
They
funny.
didn't say, make it funny. Make it
Make it funny, make it about him. And he's like, his first single was about how small his dick is. And they asked him to do this. It's so funny.
When they play the song at like the end credits is so funny.
And then he makes a song that makes no sense because
It's
all
like-
he was given is like specific generic facts about the kid that you get on like the first day of school, and he had to make a song off of that. It was so funny.
Yeah, I like the characters, even though it's only like 5 episodes in, are pretty like well like
Complex.
developed. Yeah, and complex.
Especially
Yeah.
Gata. Like, I
Gata's
was not expecting that.
that was a great. That's my favorite episode actually.
Because that's like a
Where-
legitimate dark, deep episode.
I think
yeah.
I'm in the middle of that episode.
It's
so
great.
good.
Oh wait, then did we just spoil these bipolar?
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
okay.
it's pretty
I
Whatever.
kind of assumed that.
Yeah,
It's pretty obvious because he like
I'm- yeah,
Just
he has
get
like a
hype all
mental
the time.
breakdown in a Foot Locker.
Yeah, that's the
Same.
part that I like just stopped watching at.
yeah, that's the part when it
Yeah.
like it becomes obvious that there is something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and then I don't know. I like Taco's character too.
Taco's character is what I want to be like as a human. He's just awesome. I think he's
Yeah.
so cool.
I feel like I feel like they're all just loosely based on who they are. It's
Yeah,
like,
because it seems like that's what Taco is like in real life.
well, that's like what his job is in Odd Future.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
He's like the sound engineer, or was his job before Odd Future like broke up.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Odd Future. Do you know what Odd Future is, Brandon?
Nope.
Tyler,
It's,
Tyler the Creator was in it.
Yeah, it's the I guess it's like a band. It's like the group of Tyler
It's like
the Creator,
Brockhampton.
It's
Okay.
like Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler the Creator,
I know Earl Sweatshirt.
Frank Ocean.
Okay, yeah, I know all of them so far.
Like some of the best rappers at the moment. I
The
don't
thing
know.
is, like individually, they're more talented than they were as a group.
I agree. Like some of the because
Yeah.
usually they have to let their own lyrics and voices shine to be like a
Exactly.
good song. Like Frank Ocean needs his own music, like his own song.
Oh yeah,
To get out
Like-
his voice because he's not a rapper. He's a singer.
exactly.
In my eyes,
Exactly.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I agree. I like their best, or not their one of their best songs. I forget what it's called, but like it's pretty much all
Oldie?
of them like freestyling. Oldie, yeah. It's
Yeah,
literally like 10
that's a
minutes
great song.
long.
That's
Because
it's because there's so many of them.
Exactly, and they just need like all of that time to like actually like be good.
Hmm. But yeah,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
it's been an hour, so I think we're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
Hell yeah! All right,
Good
we'll see you guys next time, and thanks for
Have a
But-
have a Ted Cruz day. Have a Ted Cruz weekend and a great great week.
and a great yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you guys.